amazing artists. Welcome back to another edition of Art with Mrs. Young. Today we are going to learn about one of the greatest artists of all time, Pablo Picasso. And we are going to do a Pablo Picasso inspired flower picture. This would be a great gift for you to give to someone special for Mother's Day. We're going to have two options today. The first option will be torn paper and a traced hand. So if you have torn any kind of colored paper, I encourage you to go scoop up a few small pieces. The other option would be just to use your coloring tools and to draw a hand instead of trace. Let's get started. Pablo Picasso is one of the most famous artists in the world. He was born in Spain in 1881, but spent most of his life in France. His father was an artist and his mother an art teacher. At age 7, Picasso began art school, and by the age of 13, he was a professional artist. This painting was created when he was just 15 years old, and this a painting of his mother when he was only 16. When Picasso was a young man, his good friend died. He was very sad, and his paintings were sad as well. We call this his blue period. Many of his paintings are painted in shades of blue and show people who are sad, in poverty, or sick. In 1904, everything changed for Picasso. He fell in love and felt happy again. This shows in his paintings with brighter colors of pinks and red tones. He often painted acrobats and circus performers. This time is known as Picasso's Rose period. Picasso's art was constantly changing. While visiting a museum in Paris, Picasso saw African masks, like these, on display. He used masks like this as inspiration for his art in the years that followed. Look closely at the faces. Do you see how they look a bit like the African masks? This was called Picasso's African period. When Picasso was about 30, he began experimenting with a brand new style of art. No one had ever seen anything like this. It was called Cubism because everything was broken up into geometric shapes. As his art progressed, you could start to see objects within the cubes. Picasso's art at this time was shocking to many people who were not used to seeing paintings like this. Throughout his life, Picasso created over 50,000 pieces of art of all styles. Here are a few of his simple line drawings, and the project that we are going to focus on today is one of those line drawings called Hands Holding Flowers. You can see that two hands are drawn with black lines and simple flowers being held. We are going to create this project today. Pablo Picasso once said, "It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child," because he truly believed every child is an artist. The challenge is to remain an artist after you grow up. Okay, for this project today, you will need some colored paper. It can be construction paper, it can be regular colored paper, it can be patterned paper, any kind of paper that you can find that's colored. You don't need this many colors, you probably need 4, maybe 5 colors in just small sheets. You will need several shades of green, markers, crayons, colored pencils. I'm using twistable pencils. You will need a Sharpie and some glue and of course white paper. Okay, so let's take a look at Picasso's hands holding flowers one more time. And we can see if we count the actual flowers, there's only 4. There's some greenery there, but I think today we're just gonna focus on those 4 flowers. Now you are welcome to do more, but if you look, the flowers kind of extend out to the edge of the hands. So we don't wanna clump our flowers very, very close together. And each flower, I noticed the center of each flower is a different color, and then each flower has, it looks like 7 to 8 petals each. So when we think about our composition, our design, about half of our paper is going to be flowers, and the other half will be stems and our hand. Now, you are welcome to do this any way you wish. If you don't have colored paper, then you can draw your ovals up here for flowers, and you can color them with anything that you have and do every other step with us. If drawing the hand at the bottom is going to be tough for you, I have a suggestion. One thing that we can do is actually trace our hand on here and then draw the flowers coming out as though our hand is holding the flowers. So if you are in kindergarten or first grade and you want to get somebody to trace your hand for you, if you want to attempt to draw the hand with me, I'm actually going to do the hand first, and I'm going to do it 2 different ways. Now I'm a lefty, so I am going to take my right hand, because I can trace with my left hand, and I am going to center it so that my hand is on the bottom half of the paper. Now your hand might be smaller than mine. I would probably do this with a pencil first, actually. Or have someone else do it for you. And I want to trace all the way to my wrist off the paper. Okay, if you don't want to trace your hand and you want to attempt to draw the hand holding the flowers, let's go ahead and do that before we add our flowers. So your flower stems are going to come down and narrow right here. So about here is where we want to come from the edge, and we want to kind of make where our thumb would come upward. We want to come down, and we want to make, when our hand is cupped, okay, we want to make the place where our fingers come around, and then we make our 4 fingers, and we come slowly in. Okay, then you'll put your flowers up here, and as soon as your flowers are done, you will do your stems through here. Okay, now my stems will come here, and I'm going to actually do those last. For my flowers today, I noticed that Picasso's flowers looked almost like torn paper if we take one more look at them, or almost like scribbled crayons. So we are going to actually do ours with torn paper today. So you need to choose the 4 colors that you would like, or whatever colors you have. Even if you have patterned paper, that would be really neat as well. And you are going to tear 4 ovals. Now when we tear paper, making smaller tears is easiest. You're not going to get a perfect oval, but that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So an oval shape that is not much bigger than this, and you will need 4 of those in different colors. We have our 4 ovals. We are going to kind of spread them apart. We know that the ones that are in the farther down are probably going to be toward the front, but I'm just going to go ahead and glue Okay, now for each of our petals, for each of our flowers, we are going to want petals. I'm going to make my petals for each flower a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and tear at least 6 to 8 petals for each flower. have a set of petals for each flower. I'm going to decide where I want each color to go. So I think I'm going to kind of do contrasting. So I think I'm going to do that here and that there, like that. Now this flower is going to be my flower that's the farthest back. So I'm going to actually do the gluing for that one first. Then I think I will have this one, then this one, and then this will be the flower that's closest up, so its petals will overlap everyone else's. Once your flowers are finished, we are going to do the last step. The last step involves all of those shades of green. Now you'll notice there's only 4 flowers, but we are going to put a lot of stems. We start from the flowers and just put the stems that go down to the hand, but do not draw over the hand. Use several different shades of green, and don't forget to draw the stems coming out of the bottom of the hand, no matter which hand you chose to draw. If you have more than one shade of green, use a light green, a dark green, whatever you have. Your masterpiece is complete.